Hey guys, so today I always check behind me to see what's up. I don't know, it's a weird habit of mine. So today I have, first of all, matcha. I'm working on a thing for this, so doing my thing. But number one, I fucked up my foot. I was training with my buddies and I messed up my foot, and he landed and my toe went. So now I can't really leave the house. So we're going to be implementing the pivot strategy, which I've mentioned, I mentioned before. But basically, it's just doing other shit that's really important without doing the stuff that I can't do. So, I mean, yeah, I'm living up to my shit. I live up to my shit. What can I say? What can I say? Anyways, my friend brought this interesting idea to me. He didn't do it intentionally, but it's this idea that I was thinking of, where it's this idea of a lot of people going, if only X, if only I had Y, if only I had Z. It's this thing of like, it's frankly cope, to be honest. But my friend said to me this, no hate, all love to him, because he's my good friend, he's my best friend. I can't hate him for this. But he goes, man, it would be so cool if we had superpowers and we could like just train all day and to use our superpowers to train and like get better and get really strong. And we could do that if only we had superpowers, though. I wouldn't do it now, but if only we had superpowers. And like I just it's this thing of like yeah, if only I had superpowers, if only I was 6'5", if only he was this. Like, you're sitting here and creating excuses for yourself to basically like overwrite the amount of effort that you can put in now because you don't have this one thing or these other things. If only my parents were rich and they bought me a supercar when they were younger. They didn't. They did not buy you a Lamborghini and a $2 billion inheritance. So you have to make the best with what you have. It's the dealing the cards that you're dealt. But like it's this idea of, this guy is sitting here and he trains, somewhat. He trains, he's been training for a long time. I've said trains so many times. But he's been training in his life, and he knows what it's like to train hard, and he understands that. And the only way that he sees a reason for himself to train hard is if he's given some God-given gift. And I mean, fair. If I was given a superpower too, I would train really hard all the time as well. But I'm not. And I'm still going to train hard regardless, I train so hard that my roommate, that my friend tries to throw me and my toe almost breaks. I don't even know if it's broken. I have no idea. I haven't gone to the doctors yet. But like it's this mentality that I think kills a lot of people, because they're not being given the easy way out, which is to have some unlikely gift. I'm lucky to have been born into and had 15 years of unconscious growth that was like, yeah, my parents were just giving it to me. Like they practically gave it to me. I had 15 or 16 years of my parents sitting and giving me growth and me having no choice as to whether or not I was growing or not. That was going to happen to me regardless of what I wanted to do. But now I'm at a point where it's like, okay, I can choose how hard to work now. And I can choose whether or not to study and whether or not to do my homework and whether or not to, again, train. I can choose that idea. And I'm not gifted in intelligence. I'm not a gifted human being when it comes to like understanding reality. I think I have certain strengths. I think a big strength of mine is seeing reality for the way it is and seeing it hyperlogically, and seeing that, and by pointing out things that a lot of people won't see, and being able to do that and being able to say no to people. I think I'm good at that. I think there's a reason why some of my friends won't ask me to do things, and I'll have to ask through like a liaison of sorts. And I'll have to sit. I have to shave. They'll have to sit there and ask someone for me, because they know that if they just ask me, I'm just going to say no. So it turns into this thing of like, oh, if we were like, I talked to my friend, it's like, oh, if we work really hard, then we'll go to this thing. And it's like, I don't want to go at all. But because he's asking me, there's a chance that I might go. Because he's a guy that I trust to want the best for me. It's again, but it's back to the idea that I wasn't born with that. It's the idea that I had to drop, 15, 20, 25, 30 friends, probably closer to 50, in order to like develop into the person that I'm going to be. And I'm probably going to have to drop more friends. I'm not surprised. I'm not expecting to stop now. So so my moral is, don't wish for gifts that you're not going to have, because you're never going to be 6'7" and you go to the NFL to be 6'7". If you really want to be a good basketball player, there are basketball players that are like 6 foot. I guarantee you there's a couple high level basketball players that are 6'1", 6'2". I don't know. I know there's UFC guys of all shapes and sizes. I know there's guys that are 5'4" and 125, and there's guys that are 6'3". And there are guys, and like those guys can do it. But don't wish to be something you're not. Because ultimately you're just going to be sitting there like, oh, life's not my fault. It's back to that idea. Like it's this idea of like, oh, life happens to me versus I'm happening to life. And so you're sitting here deciding what you want to do with your life. And it's more important to choose where you want to go with life, instead of saying like, oh yeah, life just happened to me. Oh, writing it up, life. I think that's useful when things bad happen to you, but when something when something bad happens to me, like my foot thing, I understand that it's a part of life and it's part of training. It's gonna happen. But it doesn't mean that I can't either A, avoid it, or B, get upset at my reality, my situation. I'm not upset about this. It's how it is. Because now I've pivoted and now I'm doing things. So you have to make the best with your situation, because you don't have another situation. You can wish to be, there was a thing that was like, how do you know if you're on the right path in life? And it's like, well, there's only one. Like, everyone talks about how there's like a billion branches, but like really there's only one. Those branches are all metaphorical. They don't exist. They can't exist at the same time as the main branch. And so there's no right and wrong. It's just one way. I think that the best way to live is living knowing that it's all your fault. Knowing that give your successes to God if you want. You can give your successes to a higher power. I think that's fair. But ultimately, you're the guy driving the car. He can give you opportunities. He won't give you, this God won't give you, this God or the universe or whatever you want to call it. It won't give you like a person coming up to you and going, hey, I have this $1 billion sitting in my garage. I don't want to take care of it. Can you take care of it for me? That doesn't happen. That happens 1 in a billion. That's happened like probably twice in history. Something like that happens. So that's not going to happen. So you can't wish for it to happen. What's going to happen is there's going to be a guy who's sitting there's going to be a guy sitting in a bar saying, man, oh my God, I can't, these marketers suck. These guys are so bad at marketing. They're losing me so much money. And you have to be the guy that knows marketing at that time. Or it's something like the market, the stock market going down like crazy. And you have to be the guy to look at that and go, you know what? Maybe there's an opportunity there. But you're not going to be handed it on a silver platter. You got to find it. And it's this lazy mentality of, oh, I don't have this, so I can't try. Or I don't even need to try because it's going to be way less fun. It kills me. It kills me. It kills me, bro. I'm telling you. And my friends will sit there and they'll go, oh, but it's fine. Don't think about it too much. And it's like, yes, I'm thinking about it too much. Because you're showing me your cards. I see it in your actions. It's not about this one-off thing. I see it in everything you do. He gets injured. He sits around all day and he does nothing. He lies in bed for 9 hours. There's these things he does when he gets injured. And it's not about, oh, I got injured. Oh, so what, you expect me to train through an injury? It's not about that. It's about being able to get an injury and then say, you know what, I'm injured. I'm not going to train anymore. Or I'm going to train lightly. Or saying, you know what, I'm going to, I have something to do. I have something to prove here. Let's bring that fire and bring it into something else if you can't train? So bringing that fire and going, man, I need to I'm just gonna do better in school, or I'm gonna start trying to do a business because now I have the time to start that, or I'm gonna read more books, or I'm gonna meditate for 2 hours. It's bringing that fire that you can't do somewhere else. It's mind blowing to me that you don't think like this. Where is this drive? Where is this where is your excitement for life? Where is it that when you get injured or you don't have something, you still try regardless? Where is that? And I'm starting to think that a lot of people just don't have it, and I'm going crazy. A lot of people do. I see it because they're already doing it. If you were gonna be rich, you would have been rich already. That's what I think. So I'm fuck. I gotta be rich already. If I had the skills before, I would be rich already. If I had the drive before. So that's why I work hard. So back to, let's do a recap of everything we talked about, right? We said when you don't have the ability to do something, when you don't have the circumstances necessary, that doesn't mean, if you don't have perfect circumstances, you can still do the thing. If you don't have perfect circumstances, you can still do the thing. I just wrote perfect does not equal at all. And pivot, which is another thing that I'm doing right now. But yeah, that's what I got today. Have a good life. I don't know you. If I ever meet you, that'd be great. Deuces.